be here. You all face to face. It feels like a minute since we've done anything in a group face to face. So we're here today. I think we're here tomorrow for the $1 million off our first live session as well. And I'm just really grateful to be back in the group space with you all. I want to start today with a quote from one of our friends who is very well known in the coaching industry. And we were in she was a guest speaker in Devon's community last week. And she said something which is going to be so valuable for all of you. It's so simple and it's profound. And she said, the only way that it's not going to happen is if you stop. The only way it's not going to happen is if you stop. Now, I would add to that. The only way it's not going to happen is if you stop or if you get distracted by shiny, sparkly things. Right? Excitement has been a huge topic of conversation in one-on-ones over the last 2 weeks. Creating from this shiny, sparkly, something's new, something feels exciting, give me another idea, give me something different to try. And I want to remind you before we even kick off today's session, didn't know that I was going to go here, that in an I love my life world, when you're a trailblazer, you blaze a trail only always because you know that the magic is actually in the mundane. So that is my golden nugget, mic drop moment to kick off today's mastermind session. And then I'd love to hear from all of you. Like, let's do updates and then let's move into what you would like some hot seat coaching around. How does that sound? Okay, who would like to kick us off?
I'm happy to start.
Let's do
Can you
it.
hear me okay?
It's so bizarre to see you in a hoodie, Nikki. I'm used to seeing you in your
Freezing.
bikini in Scotland.
No, well, we're back to normal Scottish weather, so it's still nice to be outside because it's I just need my eyeballs need to be outside, but a little bit cool today. So I really love that, Jess, because I've already sent you an email and I see that you've just responded. The magic is in the mundane, and I think I started my email saying, "Is this really what I need to do? Do I just need to keep re-saying the same stuff over and over again, but in a different way?"
Yeah.
And so there's the answer right there in that. So that's perfect for me. I always think you're talking directly to me, so I think that's really funny. Magic in the mundane, I love that, and I think it is just keeping on doing the same. And some days I just find myself being a bit. I can't think of anything else to say, or I can't think of another way to say it. And my head just goes into meltdown. But I've kind of been back on it again today, and I've just written today's posts and tomorrow's post. So that's been really helpful. Am I getting distracted by the sun, the shiny, sparkly things? I think I'm doing okay with that now. I
Yeah.
think I'm really focused on just the 4 things that's in my offer. And so that is just what I'm talking about over and over again. So I love that because that is also normally me. But I think I am focusing, and it's hard. It's really hard for me, but I'm doing it. So
Yes. And Nikki, since we've been in this space, I mean, I've celebrated you on social, so people might have an idea of what's been going on. And like, let's hear your updates since being in this space last month, because this has been one of the most significant months, really, of your life, potentially.
yeah. So for those of you that I'm sure you all know that I handed my notice in about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. I'm right in the middle of my notice period. I've got 4 weeks left, although 2 of them I'm out of the office, so that's the good thing. So I've got 3 days this week. And I have to say, I've literally pretty much just stopped working because I don't really have much to do. So I am really enjoying just continuing with the coaching space, and also just with the integrity that that supports the clients, because I still do coaching in NHS said I'm just not doing any of the other project work. So that's where I'm at. So I'm working today and I'm working tomorrow. That's me for 2 weeks. I'm going to London for a week, which is part holiday with my eldest son, and also because living perfect life, and also my final coaching constellations practice. And then I've got a week in Nice with Bella and my mum, and then I'm back to my last final 3 days. So in terms of what I've been working on behind the scenes with Jess is what are my offers to make sure that once the salary doesn't come in at the end of June, there's still money coming in the bank. And so I've got a one-to-one offer, which was 6 months, and there was only one of those. And I have 2 to 4 of the mini group program. And then I wanted to practice my NLP. So my NLP I did February, March time. And it comes with, which was great, it comes with like an 8-week program. And so I wanted to practice that. So it's a low ticket, although it's one-to-one, it is low ticket because I'm really learning the material. So I've got one client doing that, and I'm really nearly finished with her. I've got one more session to do with her, and that has been amazing. Like, I love NLP. So really enjoying that space. And I sold my one-to-one, my only one-to-one space, but actually I kind of I don't know what you would say, up leveled her to a year instead of 6 months. So it was 22K instead of 8, because she's also coming into my group program. So that's been amazing. And she's paid 12. So that's been great for credit cards. And all the things that everything, it always accumulates when you're in this space of investing in yourself, and also gives me a bit of money in the bank. She's going to pay another bit in June and then another bit in September, and that'll be her. So really helpful just to get through the summer without worrying. But my intention is to keep high energy around my offers because I absolutely want to bring in more. So
It's huge.
it's
And what
huge.
and what I invite everybody on the call to hear is Nikki made a really courageous decision. Now, Nikki's journey in this space has been interesting. You know, Nikki connected with me in Scotland years ago, watched my journey, got on a call. She was like, just tell me what it is that you've been doing. Just tell me what it is. And it was just a curiosity at that point, but something hit. And she shared one of her own social media posts. That was the moment she realized like corporate wasn't for her anymore. She really wanted to step into the industry. Now, I remember, Nikki jumped into a program. She wanted to join the membership. And I actually told Nikki no. I was
Mm.
like, no, do you remember, Nikki? I was like, you need to be here right now, not in a million different places, not doing a million different things, like not right now. We'll talk about it later. And here she is. So she had the courage to hand in the notice. I want you to hear she didn't have a safety net. There
Mm-mm.
wasn't money in the bank to say if I
Mm-mm.
don't find a client, in the next 4 weeks, like I'm not going to be able to pay the bill. There was no safety net. She had the courage in the one-on-one space. The question I asked Nikki was, these are temporary offers, whilst you're still in employment, what do you want to offer?
Mm.
Nothing holding you back.
Mm.
What would light you up to deliver? It wasn't what's your free masterclass. It was just nothing holding you back. What do you want to offer? And we played this fun game of, okay, to make that much money and in alignment with these spaces that would light you up, like how would we price them? She wrote an email. She shared these offers, which absolutely, she's like, what? I can have a one-on-one client and I could stay overnight in the Old Course Hotel with them.
And
Like,
that's what we're doing in July.
right? All of the things, stepped in, created the 5 figures, and I'm going to tell you now, Nikki, this is the easy part, right? The consistency is going to be the practice. And incredible, incredible results over a period of time, matched with courage,
Mhm.
matched with a belief, like I'm doing this no matter what, there is no plan B. And I'm going to do it on my terms based on everything that I love. My children, my family, they come first. My perfect average life,
Yeah.
that comes first. And I'm going to deliver in alignment with that, and my dream people are going to come. Now, I
Mhm.
want you to hear this too, because this is important. So, the women who signed up for Nikki's one on one, had actually been in her world, toing and froing for what, about 6 months, Nikki?
Actually, probably a year. We looked at some of her notes. She brought them today and they were dated in July last year. And we thought, gosh, she's been 11
Right.
months.
Right. So she'd been to and fro. She wanted to work with Nikki. It was
Mhm.
very clear. She'd made agreements. She kept putting it off. Why? And this is what I want you all to hear. Because Nikki hadn't yet created the offer that absolutely spoke to her heart.
Mhm.
So now, when Nikki's created something that is true to her and calls in her dream clients, the woman immediately paid 5 figures with the commitment to pay another five. There was no, I'll think about it. I'll come back after my holiday. It was like, nope, this one speaks to me. Let's go.
Mhm.
And this is where you all really want to trust that you create not what you think people want, not what you think. Don't say what you think you should say to get a certain result. Be you, do you, create on your terms in a way that lights you up. The results will follow. Any more updates you want to share, Nikki? And then,
No, I think the point that you made was so important because this time last year I wanted to finish working. And I remember my husband saying to me that he had certain conditions that he would be okay. And it was all about money in the bank. And I think I got to this year and just thought, as long as I have the job as a safety net, I'm never going to create the money in the bank.
yeah,
And that was my realization. I think that's been my journey, is actually just noticing that this is keeping me small and I just need to go for it and I just need to be brave. And so, yeah, so thank you.
you're welcome. And that's another really good point. This is why I love your shares because so much comes up from them, right? And although we're listening to Nikki and we're reflecting on Nikki's journey right now, the way that I really want you to think about the mastermind space moving forward is I want you to imagine that God, the universe, whatever you believe in, has literally made you a fly on the wall to someone else's experience because there's something in there for you. It's not coincidence you're listening to what you're listening to. We don't know what's going to come up. And if you just think, like, I have been placed here as a fly on the wall for a reason, I am going to pay attention. So good. Now, based on what Nikki said, we want to normalize the things that we want in our life. If you want to normalize receiving 5-figure months,
Mhm.
guess what you have to get comfortable with? Spending money, taking risks, making big investments. If you want to normalize delivering to big groups of people, guess what you have to do? Step into spaces, shaking in your boots where you deliver to big groups of people. Right? So we want to think about what is it that I would like to normalize in my life? And am I actually being a match for those things? If I want to normalize being a best-selling author, am I being as visible as a best-selling author? If I want to normalize $100 hair washes, am I actually having $100 hair washes regularly? Right? So we want to normalize the things that we want. And that takes courage. I have a fun story that I might share with you later about what I normalized last weekend. And you'll be surprised. It's crazy. Who's next with your updates? Oh, I'll let you two decide.
Go ahead, Cheryl. We're so polite, so polite. So well, it's interesting because Nikki, I did what you did a year and a half ago, and had crazy success, and then quote unquote lost it all, like that. Big investments, big huge leaps, hit a levels of I don't know, like stress, and I've really been on a journey of really maneuvering my way out of that, and sometimes very powerfully, and a lot of the time very, very messily, which obviously Jess has had a ringside seat to and been a fabulous mentor in. But one of the things that Jess was saying about like the shiny objects is, I got very good at selling. So I was just like, let me sell this and let me sell that and let me sell this and let me sell that. And I realized like there's so many things that I could deliver. But probably my big update is that actually I've been like, yeah, that's been fun. But it's also been like, I felt like Asda, be like, you can buy anything, like which is great. And I've learned a lot about selling and whatever, but it doesn't light me up. So I've really been becoming the woman who sells to my actual ideal client in the last period of time. And it's interesting because I feel like we're on a journey of the thing that we teach is also our lesson. So I have been up leveling my self-leadership like something flipping chronic of late. Made the biggest proposal ever to a client. And again, like not from a place of um like all my proposals up until now, like truthfully, I've been like, oh, I really hope they say yes, and I wonder if they can afford this. And like there was definitely some energy of that. I was like, what do I want? Like, what if I proposed it? If she said no, would I be okay with her saying no? And I could just wait for the next person. And I was like, yeah, I want to be in nice places. So similar to you, Nikki, we are going to be doing our in-persons at Glen Eagles, and then we're going to be doing our Zoom calls on Zoom. I was like, yeah, I want this. I want to include immersion spaces, all these kinds of things. So created this amazing package. And of course, no brainer. She was just like, how do I pay? Like that, just like that, like so easy. And in the conversation, she was like, oh, I can refer someone else to you. Is that okay? Can I give you their number? So I'm already in conversations of the second creation. So I'm starting to see the simplicity of 5 figure months isn't going to come from me doing more and throwing out offer upon offer upon offer. It's just going to come from being like I was like, imagine this world where I just have like 4 clients in one group program and so much space in my diary to enjoy everything I've created. Like more of that life, please. So yeah, it's been a huge shift, a huge shift. And from slowing down, which I feel like Jess has been like, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. And I was like that dog that's like wanting to keep running. So yeah, so huge, huge leaps in my life and my business and my leadership.
It's powerful, and I can say this, and unapologetically I say to you, you're going to hear me say the same things over and over and over again, and when it lands, like it'll all make sense. It'll permeate every single fiber of your being. And what happens is, and this is it's interesting, we started the call with talking about the energy of excitement, and actually the magic is in the mundane. Because what happens is the longer you're in your entrepreneurial journey, the more you're going to get clarity. Okay, I'm not throwing offers at the wall anymore. I'm not teaching every aspect of what I've learned in my coaching journey, entrepreneurial journey. I'm going to teach you the parts that really transformed my life in my way. And your way is going to become clearer and clearer and clearer. You're going to copy like an artist until you find your own methodology. And then you go like, okay, I got it. My one offer with my upgrade opportunities, my dream clients, that's the only people that I speak to. I'm good with less engagement. I'm good with less followers. I'm good with X, Y, and Z, because the people that come into my world, they're my people. I'm going to be so lit up serving them, and their results are going to be transformational. And as a byproduct of loving who I'm serving, what I'm teaching, and the fact that this all revolves around my life and my cornerstones, is why the income and the impact is going to be a byproduct. So huge awareness. Cheryl also made a hugely courageous move literally. She moved to a different city as well amongst all of this, in order to be able to propel her business forward. Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Asti, come on up. What's your updates? We had a big call yesterday, didn't we, Asti?
Yeah, we had a big call. I feel like I've been in my own massive struggle lately, right? My company that I work with is changing a lot of things and not sure what the long-term effects of that will be. And so I've kind of had all my eggs in that basket for a long time. And just kind of in the last week and a half, some really clear, like a really clear path forward has emerged for me. So I am actually going to put together a coaching program, which I've had on my mind for a long time, but I feel super clear what it needs to look like, and talk with Jess about kind of what the logistics of that would be, because I felt really confused, and I'm just really excited about the clarity and just going step by step. So I'm like, I'm just moving forward step by step right now. And that feels really exciting to me.
Yeah, I am literally had like a, what do they call it? Like a parasympathetic sigh. You know, when you sigh and your whole body relaxes, and just to experience you share this with the smile on your face, and I feel a lightness from you today, Asti. It's like the shoulders can drop. Like I'm clear now, right? And again, it's
Yeah, it feels really good.
yeah, I can tell. Really good. So we're letting a lot of things go and focusing on this one thing and creating from there, which is again huge. You know, you've been with the same company for a really long time and you're taking strides. So good, Asti.
Thank you.
Who's up next? April, come on up.
Okay. Yeah, so since last month, the book is here. Author's proof. The size is changing, but that's it's all okay, and should get the other one anytime soon. 43 copies have been sold on priority pre-order, and I have been helpfully reminded just how much of a success that is, because I was too easy just to wipe it aside. So that is a learning to really remember what I have achieved. There's been a couple of times when stress and overwhelm has kind of almost taken me out, but I've re-looked at it and reframed and worked through it. And I had a little bit of help as well. Thank you, Cheryl. But yeah, the reframing was really good. And then it was a really productive time. So it could have wiped out the whole day. But that was after one of the highs, or rather something that hadn't, there was 2 times. I had a really high, and then I was taken out with the excitement afterwards. And there was a lesson from that. And then I had a low because I'd set expectations that weren't met, got really disappointed, and then that started to take me out for a while, but learnt from it and moved through it, and feel like I'm in a much better place to move forward, and also to recognize when it happens again in the future. Because what I have realized is that, you know, I've been in this coaching space now for I think it's 18 months or so, and a lot of it to me has been theory. So until I'm actually in it, doing it myself and feeling what it's like, I don't actually know. And I'm nodding along during the classes saying, oh yeah, I understand. I haven't got a clue until it actually happens myself. And I physically understand how that feels to me and my reactions, what they are. So I'm observing myself and applying the learnings as I go. So yeah, that's been hard sometimes.
Yeah, and it's a really good point that you're bringing to the table, April, because there is, as we say, a huge difference between information and transformation. And this is why we say when it comes to the replays, you know, you're here, the first time you hear something, it's like information. I'm nodding along, it makes sense logically, like all of the things. And then it's like, no, watch it a second time. Go and make notes, make commitments to implementation, and then you bring to your mastermind, you bring to your coaching sessions, okay, this is what I've implemented, this is what's gone well, this is what hasn't gone well, this is where I need help, this is what I still don't understand. And that's where the evolution part comes in, because you're continuously learning information, growing, transformation, and evolving. And that's where you realize that this, you know, what you're creating is it's a mountain with no top. There is no ceiling, but you have to be in the work.
Yes.
The work is and this is why for $1 million offer, I'm really heavy with you guys on the implementation, right? Because that's what creates the results. The only way you stretch is not by thinking. Yes, it starts with the thought, but it actually comes from the action, right? We have to not just think we're scared. We have to choose to step into courage and make the aligned move. Then we have an outcome, a junction of creation. And when you continually move forward along that line, that's when you get the results. So this is where we always talk about, it's not about hoping. It's not about dreaming. It's not about knowing. It's about creating the neural pathways that say, I'm certain because I continually take aligned action. So a really, really powerful share, April.
Thank you.
A lot of you guys, especially in the one-to-one space right now in particular, I've been telling you to take your own programs. Cheryl was talking about this. I said, Cheryl, you can't deliver a program if you haven't put yourself through it. How do you know what works? How do you know what people are going to have breakthroughs around? How are you going to know what needs room for improvement? And whilst taking her own program, just session 1 so far, Cheryl has basically created a whole new 5-figure client because she realized that she wasn't leading herself in all areas, and actually she had to slow down, switch the phone off, step away from the business. When she stepped away, leading herself in her personal life, guess what happened? As a byproduct, she got paid. She's getting paid. So good. Thank you, April. Any more updates? Are we good? Okay. Debbie P. I don't even want to call you Debbie P anymore. I don't even know who this woman is. She looks like a whole new person. Mrs. Parsons, come on up.
So I am truly stepping into my next level, both personally and in my business. New clothes, new hair, just loving it. And
Hold the bus.
yeah.
Bus. Debbie's going to tell you about the new clothes experience at some point, I'm sure, whether it's today or elsewhere. But let's just say this. Louis Vuitton loved her outfit. She's being complimented by the places that she wants to shop. They're like, hold on, look at this woman. We love your clothes. Where'd you get them?
Yeah, I'm just loving it. And it was only probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago that I felt completely lost with everything. And it's amazing how quickly you can turn things around. And yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I'm getting clear on who I am. I'm doing a lot of inner work, and putting myself into places that are new to me. So I've been on my own. Andrew was away for a few days, and I went sort of exploring to different places, walking in on my own, full of confidence, and yeah, absolutely embracing it. And that's rippling out into my, I think, how I'm being with other people. People are noticing. People tell me I'm glowing. So yeah, it's the whole thing. And I'm up leveling my program. The $1 million offer is perfect timing for me because I am embracing it all and putting that into my revised program, and I can't wait to launch it.
Yes, it's so good. And it's tangible and it's magnetic. Like people are just going to look at you, Debbie, and be like, wow, something shifted. I need to pay attention here. And you become magnetic. And one of the huge things that Debbie's been working on is speaking to the ideal clients who are not yet necessarily following her so that they start coming into her world. So she's out there networking, going to extraordinary places. Did you go to the cafe on the cliff, Debbie?
The cafe on the cliff?
Didn't you say when Andrew was out, you were going to
no.
go to some restaurant on the cliff?
Oh, no, it was on the beachfront.
Okay, got it.
Yes, I did. And wow, that's the place to be. I loved it, absolutely loved it. Although they charged me 84 euros for one drink, so they got the table wrong, and it meant that because I wasn't going to leave the place until they sorted it out, so I got offered the special treatment. It was obviously their mistake. The manager was sorting me out with the refund, and then that wasn't going through, and then they got the boss, so I chatted with the boss. So I've made those connections, and they offered me, free drinks, and I've got his personal WhatsApp number. So by default, I've now made connections with the owner of this amazing beachfront restaurant, which is fantastic.
And it's not by default. I want you
Yes.
all to see this, so we were talking in our one-on-one space, Debbie, what would be your next courageous move? Like what would be your next level identity? Where is she going to go? Like all of these things. And she said, oh, when Andrew's out, I'm going to go to this specific location. So you went to the specific location. Whatever occurred, you framed it in a way that served you really powerfully. You got to, as a byproduct of placing yourself in the environment, make these connections. Now, just as with the dress shop, Debbie had an incredible time personal shopping by accident. She just walked in, living her best life, and created this incredible connection. This connection, it could be that now you take your clients in your immersions to this incredible spot. Maybe you create something where you host something there, who knows? But you have the connection, and now it's like, okay, well, my expansive identity, what does she do with all these connections? How does she nurture these relationships? And so when I'm meeting with the manager, not only would I be thinking about, okay, this could be a brilliant location for business opportunity. Let me create myself. Let me share that idea, with him. This is what I do. I'm like all about, nutrition is a part of my thing, and blah, 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 blah. But you also want to be curious about him. How long have you been working here? How did you get into the hospitality industry? What do you love about Mallorca? And then it's like, okay, how can I continue to serve him? If I stumble across a resource or I bump into someone, I'm like, let me tell you about this fabulous place. I'm going to connect you to Marco, who's the owner. Like, can you see how the relationship be nurtured and developed? He's not going to remember, he's not going to forget who Debbie is, because it's not all about you. And as a byproduct, he's going to help you too.
Yeah. I'm already thinking about taking my one-to-one clients there, and it's just fabulous.
So good. So good. Roz, I was thinking, am I going to share a story here? And I want to hear from Roz. Roz, come on up.
Okay. It's so good to hear from everybody else. I was sitting thinking, well, nothing's happened in the last month, and that's actually not true. I've stepped into rooms and had conversations with one woman in particular. I'm a member of her monthly membership, and she is just expanding. She's a relational coach on elevated female friendships, and we are going to be working together going forward, not with mapping it out how it's going to go. So this is going to be huge, because what she wants me to do is bring in my becoming a sovereign woman as almost a criteria for people to come into her space. Just so that they've gone through the healing and they've done the certain things that that's just needed to happen to be in that space and show up fully. Because what's happening at the moment is people are there, but they're not showing up, they're not engaging, and they're not interacting as the whole space is designed to do. So that's huge. I've also, it's still very small, but I've stepped into co-hosting a collaborative like a networking, but this is not networking where you're pitching for 45 seconds or 60 seconds and you've got your call to action. This is proper connections where you're sitting down, you're having the conversations, the deep conversations, and you get to build that connection and share your mission and your goals. And I've been to one, and I'm hosting the one on Friday, and it is so different to anything I've done before. So I'm excited for that. And I loved what you said, told Cheryl, that you must take yourself through your own program. 100%. I'm going to be doing that again. I'm going through, because it's evolved from like a healing space to so much more now as well. So I'm excited for what's coming.
It's really incredible, Roz. And didn't you also travel in the last month to like convention or something?
I didn't go, no, but what I have got coming up and going to be in the season, my one sister is coming over on Monday next week from South Africa. This is the first time that we have shared time together like this since we were kids.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm 63, she's going to be 69. So we've got 2.5 weeks together, which is going to be so special. So yeah, that's my focus, is my sister from Monday on until the 2nd of July, is really focusing on her. It's going to be special. Yeah.
And so aligned, because being the sovereign woman is about really owning your past and healing anything that needs to be healed. And actually, you know, you spending time with your sister in this close proximity in the UK, especially since childhood, is part of your work. So you're being a living and breathing embodiment of your work. I also hear, you know, people are really trusting you and seeing the value of your work, i.e., this could be a precursor to people having extraordinary results when they come here as the next step. So this is incredible. You're out there, and it's about creating yourself in the networking space. I'm Roz, I'm the sovereign woman, and continually creating that. It's all coming for you. So good. Really, really good. Really good. Let's get into hot seat. So what do you need today? If you would like hot seat, write hot seat in the chat box, and I'll bring you all up, and we'll go wherever you need to go. I'm excited to support you all. Or I could just tell stories if no one has hot seat.
Start with the story, Jess. You'll get us going.
I'll start with the story. So I'll be really real with you guys, right? So, you know, Devin loves to, we both do, but Devin loves to go on like these like courses, like learning, training, like all of these things, retreats and stuff like that. I've told somebody on this call this story. And so a couple of weeks ago, he went to one that was like a silent meditation retreat for 7 days. So that was interesting. And he would call at the end of the day to like just check in for a couple of minutes. He came home for 4 days, and then he went to the next one. And the next one was not a silent meditation. It was actually an integrity boot camp. And Devin doesn't read anything before he signs up. He just follows his intuition. This is the one, I'm going to sign up. Doesn't read anything. So he sends me the emails. He sent me the email the night before he was leaving at 5 o'clock in the morning with the details. So I'm reading the details, and I read, all devices will be taken off of you from Friday lunchtime until Monday lunchtime, the duration of the course. My heart is racing even as I say this out loud. Like, this is how deeply I was feeling about this situation. Because in over 2,000 days, there has not been a day where we have not FaceTimed or had communication. Not one single day. And it is my non-negotiable that I will speak to my husband every single day. Like, he'll be in communication with me. I don't want a WhatsApp number for emergencies where I have to go through Sheena. Like, no, thank you. I want to be in communication with my husband, right? So he's like, I didn't know anything about this. And I'm like, this is not very good. And there wasn't really time to discuss it. So I was feeling a type of way when he left at 4 o'clock in the morning for the airport. And I didn't hear from him until Monday lunchtime. So you can imagine, I'm feeling away. So Friday, I'm out busy. I'm doing some filming with Yara, the videographer. And then on Saturday, I'm like, so Friday, when we'd been filming, we filmed at Gucci, which is not my usual Gucci. It's a quiet one in the area called Manhasset. And there's this handbag that I really want, but I'm not going to buy it from there because our guy's in Fifth Avenue. But I really want this handbag. Now, I don't buy my own Gucci. Devin likes to bring me, have the whole experience, buy from his guy, like all of the things. And there was a little part of me that's like, he is going to be severely pissed off if I buy my own Gucci bag. Now, me, Devin, and Irving, who's our guy at Fifth Avenue, we have a group chat on text messages. So I'm like, and this was the spiteful part, like the not very nice part of me at play. So I'm like, let me just ask Irvin the group chat, because Devin will see this when he switches his phone on Monday morning, if they have the bag in stock. Yes, Jess, I've got it. Here's a picture. I'm going to package it up for you. What time are you coming in? I'm like, oh, maybe today or maybe tomorrow, I'll let you know. Because I knew that it wasn't healthy to make an expensive purchase from that place. And I knew that I had to sit with like this feeling of, I'm not going to buy something to annoy him. And then I sat with the feeling and I'm like, do you know what? Why wouldn't I buy myself a Gucci bag? Like, why wouldn't I? With this level of success, with the impact that I'm making on the world, like all of the things, like, why haven't I? And why wouldn't I normalize that for myself? The only way for me to normalize buying more Gucci is to start buying Gucci, right? This is true. This is really a true thing. You have to normalize what you want more of. So I'm like, maybe I will. And I sat with it because I have to make sure that I'm coming from the right place. This is not to be spiteful. This is like, there's something in this. And the fact that I'm even going back and forth with myself, there's learning here for me. Like there's a resistance here and I need to work with this resistance. Like, why am I thinking twice about spending some money, you know, a couple of thousand in Gucci when I just paid 25,000 for coaching? Why is it easy for me to spend for one day coaching, not for 12 months, one day? Why is it easy for me to drop that? But I'm questioning myself over here in the personal space. Can you see there was something for me to look at here? So I'm like, okay, I have to normalize it. So like shaking in my boots, let me just go to Gucci, let me go see Irv, let me like do the thing. So I get to Gucci. First of all, they're like, the manager's coming over. He's like, where's Ocean? Where's the dog? Like, this is her home. Like, she's their little Fifth Avenue mascot now. I'm like, oh, I just came on my own. Do you want champagne? No, I'm in and out today. Like, I'm good. I'm here to buy the bag. Like, because I'm nervous about it, right? So the manager's like, oh, I've sent Irv all these pictures of this brand new space that we're about to open. It's right next door. It used to be the children's department of Gucci. And we would love you and Devin to come in, use the space, like blah, 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 blah. We can't show it to you today because headquarters haven't yet signed off on the decoration. But Irving's going to show you the pictures. We can't wait for you to see it. So he shows me the pictures, and as he's showing me the pictures, he's like, you know, Jess, usually you're shopping and me and Dev are talking, and I know what's going on in his business, but tell me what you're really excited about in yours right now. So I say, well, Arv, let me tell you about 2026. I'm creating Trailblazer Table. It's in 4 locations. It starts in New York. These are the people. There's going to be 8 women who sit there, blah, 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 blah. He's like, Jess, why don't you let us give you our space, curate the event, cater the event, and you can be one of the first people in history who've used the Gucci Fifth Avenue exclusive space for your event. And I'm like, I knew there was a reason I had to come here today. I knew it. I knew it wasn't about a bag. In fact, I feel like the bag was free now. Right? Now, there's something in that story for all of you, whether it's relationships, whether it's courage, whether it's working through what the feels that you feel, like there's something in that for all of you. And I'd love to hear, like, what was your biggest takeaway from that story? Nikki, let me come to you first.
What's the dates? Need to get my 2026 diary. Mine's is only 2025, but I'll get that scheduled in. That is phenomenal. That is I had no idea where you were going to go with that story. None. But what? That's something else. That's living, isn't it? That's like proper following your intuition, just really noticing the two sides and just thinking, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. I love
Right.
it. Absolutely, absolutely love it.
I love that. I love that. Cheryl, what did you hear for you in the story?
Well, I think I mean, like so much, but it was the sitting with the stuff that comes up inside first, like the actual slowing it down. And maybe because I'm in this season of like slowing it down and being like, oh, okay, so I can acknowledge I'm wanting to do this like just to annoy my husband because how very dare he not read an email, like like like, but actually being able to then sit very powerfully in the emotions and be like, no, actually, this still feels like the right move. I'm then not surprised that universe spirit is like, okay, acknowledge you for that. Now here's a beautiful gift. And like Nikki, it's really interesting because when it comes to the Trailblazer table, I was like, I want to be there. I am sitting with that because I'm like, and like going back to the beginning of the call, like, oh, is that the shiny new thing? Or do I actually want to be there? I'm actually sat in that right now. And then you added that, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to sit in this any longer. I want to be there. So yeah, love it, love it, love it.
Let me tell you that is nothing in like that is like nothing in the Trailblazer table. Emails are coming out over the next few months, and you'll really get a feel for what it is. And what's so cool about it is it doesn't matter where you're at right now. Like, you know, I might do it 2026, 27, 2032. It doesn't matter. It's like, you know, just notice what comes up in you when you hear about these things. So good.
Yeah. And I think the other thing just following on from that is like, you know, like one of the things I sat with was like, who would I need to become to sit at that table? And that flipping excites me. Like more than being sat at the table, it's actually the evolution to the person I would become in the thing. So yeah, love it, love
So
it, love it.
good, so good. And that piece there that Cheryl just shared, I want you to know that about when you're speaking to your dream clients, because so many of you are in the fear of, oh my God, so and so is going to stop following so and so who's followed me for 4 years and never paid me and never shown interest in my thing. Oh my God, they're going to stop following me. Well, thank goodness, because they've just been dead space on your follow list. You want to speak to the people who are like, oh my God, who do I need to become to sit in her space? Because by the time they sit in your space, you guys are going to create magic, right? So there's going to be people who are like, who do I need to become? And there's going to be people like, she's speaking my language. But you can see there's a huge difference, right? Asti, what did you hear for you?
I really liked where you were kind of in that mix of, you know, why am I having this resistance? If I want to, like, is this something I want to be normal for me? Then I need to go ahead and normalize it for myself and kind of taking that power for you. And just the conversation since then with Nikki and Cheryl. And then I listened to I got caught up in the Telegram group this morning where you said, I want you to treat every one of these audios as if we were having a personal conversation, just kind of going back to who do you need to become to sit at that table? Because I found for me, I treated that differently if it was a one-on-one space versus a group. And so that really landed for me of if I could normalize kind of what Cheryl was saying, who do I need to become to sit in this space? Every time I think that that would just lead to that extra massive evolution, right?
So good. Really good. April, what did you hear for you?
It's the emotion part of it, really. That you get to sit in it too. It doesn't just happen to us normal people, it happens to you too.
Yeah.
So it's good. But it's are you making the decision as well because you want it or to spite? And that's a thing to be aware of. Yeah.
Really good. Because also, you know, successful women have often created success from this place of watch me go.
Yeah.
It's a different story. They don't think I can do it, so let me freaking prove it.
That's
We
what
don't
I'm
want to
doing.
create from, yeah, but we don't want to create from that place anymore. We want to create from the place of, I know who I am. I know that my product transforms lives. And I'm going to shout about it from the rooftops. And when people are ready to meet me, I'll meet them in their power. It's a very different energy. Now, success built from watch me go or from the low grade emotions will take you so far, but it will be capped. And this is huge. I love that you brought that to the table. And yes, of course, I feel all of the feels, right? Because this is what allows us to feel the extreme highs, the extreme lows, and continually expand our capacity. What was really beautiful about the situation was Devin and I created new agreements. So that would never happen again. You know, he created an agreement. If there's a situation where devices have to be handed in, we'll either go together or, you know, we'll find an alternative, because it really is my non-negotiable. Freedom I'm all about, but I want to be able to be in communication. It makes me feel safe, you know, and that's my relationship, not how everybody's relationship has to operate. But we were able to have those conversations and create an even stronger relationship because of it. He did feel a type of way that I bought the Gucci, but it's good because now he's going to buy me the matching shoes. So it's a win-win. So good. Roz, what did you hear for you?
I think it's, I almost echo what April was saying. I love that you recognize that there could be negative emotions attached to it and sitting with that. And that's, gosh, the past 6 weeks, 2 months, that's where I've been really looking at my emotions. What is it attached to this and why am I feeling that way? And I love that you had a new agreement made as well, and you get some new Gucci shoes. Fantastic.
It's a win-win. So good, Roz. Debbie, what about you? What did you get?
You told me this in the one-to-one space, so second time I've heard it, and probably the same reaction I had before. It's, you know, what do you want to do? It's sitting with that that feeling of not necessarily what's the right thing to do or how will it affect how other people think or behave. It's really tapping into what you want, and I feel I've been doing quite a lot of that lately, and it leads you to opportunities that you would never have dreamt possible. So yes, that's what I take.
Really, really good. And I invite you all just to take one more thing from the story. You know, you listen to it again, you'll probably hear something different. And I invite you to hear that I declared what I'm up to before it's even happened. I think when I told Irving about the Trailblazer table, I hadn't even sent an email out saying something's coming yet. I declared that this is what I'm in creation of. I told him what it involved, and then we created something from that. Now imagine if I just said, oh, I'm doing my usual, like, you know, my women, they're doing big things in the world, like blah, 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 blah. I didn't go down that route. I said, this is what I'm excited about. This is what I'm creating. And he enrolled himself in supporting me to elevate it even further. So declare, consistently create yourself and declare what you're up to in the world, and people will start to enroll themselves in that creation. I said to Debbie on the one-on-one call, I said, I'm going to create the Gucci distinction, because Gucci expand me only, always, right? So people are like, oh, she likes shopping, she likes handbags. No, they took me to the penthouse on the 169th floor or whatever it was, the $69 million penthouse. Never imagined I'd want one of those. I do. I do. They're going to take, you know, Trailblazer. I mean, who would have thought you could host an event in Gucci like that, and they'll pay for the whole thing. Like, they continually expand me. So put yourself in environments that are going to expand you, even if, especially if it feels uncomfortable. Normalize being comfortable in environments that will expand you. That's why I do my immersions in extraordinary places. I teach you to be comfortable in these environments. Okay. Who's up? Any hot seats? Any questions? April.
I was just typing, I think I need to leave Somerset for a while to get some expansion.
Right. Maybe. I mean, if that's come up for you, you want to trust it. And then you want to dig a little bit deeper. And it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? Do I really have to leave Somerset, or are there environments in Somerset that I'm not yet putting myself in that would be expansive for me? Like all of those things, right? So you want to question the thought. So many of us have beliefs simply based on unquestioned thoughts. How often are you slowing down and questioning your thoughts? Is it true? Is it really true? If I didn't have that thought, who would I be right now? What would the outcome be?
Yep.
Nikki, I want to know Devon's response. I can imagine it was amazing. To the bag.
Yeah, just because he would have got, like you said, all the texts when he got his phone. So I have to say, I was finding myself curious as to what his response was.
His
And
first
then
response.
obviously he would have heard your story as well.
Well, I probably didn't share it with him for like 2 or 3 days. I didn't even show him the bag for 2 or 3 days because I was trying not to make it like a big deal. And I was trying to be very nonchalant about it. He was like, his first response was, "Oh, I usually buy your Gucci bags." And to be honest, I do think his ego was a little bit like,
A little bit dented.
they know me for bringing you in there and spoiling you. What is this like? There was definitely a little bit of that. And then he was like, oh, that's amazing. Like, this is really cool. And he also loved, and I didn't stay for the champagne. I didn't go to the private experience. I didn't bring the dog. Like, I was just in and out. So there was a level of respect that I have as well about how I made the purchase base, and all of that made him feel really good. And then, of course, he was so excited about the creation. Trailblazer table it's mine. It's been in my thinking for a really long time, and of course, in alignment with the cornerstones, brought a lot of our family values, and one experience is, can't tell you because it's a secret experience. Like, it embodies everything that us and our family are about, and although it's mine, he will be at one of the specific experiences along with our children, and you all get to bring your children or your families or people who are important to you too. And so it's the excitement of the creation and our bigger purpose and mission on this planet overtook any kind of feelings or ego that could have come up. And again, that's a really big learning. It's like when we feel these, how good are these calls? Because we just go where we go, right? But it's like when our feelings come up, like low grade emotions, when they come up, one way to, you want to feel the feels, but one way to shorten the period of time it takes to get out of your feelings is to reconnect to your mission and your purpose. Okay, what's the why behind all of this? What's the bigger thing? And when I snap back into that, then all my ego is left at the door, and everything makes so much sense. And we trust the divine, universe, God, whatever it is that you believe in. And it's like, wow, it all had to happen. Me being annoyed at him not reading the email, him going away for 4 days, and me sitting in my own feelings, like the will I, won't I, all of it, all of it had to happen to lead to our next level of creation. Good question.
So good. Thank you.
What's up next? I mean, I could just keep telling story. I'm joking. What do you want to know? I'm here for it. And maybe you want to share a story or something that you've realized is like, wow, this is a powerful, story that happened in my life. And who was I in this one-on-one space with talking about distinctions? Was that you, Debbie, again? This week we were talking about creating distinctions. Now, in the coaching world, in your group programs, wherever you're teaching, Stories and distinctions are the most powerful way for you to teach. Who remembers the Lindt chocolate distinction that I've shared with you before? Cheryl even sent me some Lindt chocolates with Trailblazer, I think it said on them, didn't it, Cheryl? Because of the story. Now, Steve Chandler, when I work with Steve, I used to get so frustrated with his coaching because I'd go on there and I'm like, okay, this is what I want to talk about today. And he would like tell me stories. And I'd come off the call and I'm like, oh my God, Devin, I didn't want a story. I just wanted to know the answer to the question that I was asking, right? But then what happens is when you hear a story, you start to see something in the story for you. And you start to find the answer that you need from the story. And so stories last forever. Whereas if I teach you a concept, it doesn't stay in your long-term memory unless you implement it. So my invitation to you, really harness the power of stories, like what's going on in your world? What are you learning from those things? And can you create a distinction from it that then becomes part of your brand? Right? And this would be something that's really going to support you to build your brand, because just as we say with $1 Million Offer, why do we have one signature offer? Why do we keep your offer suite so simple? A brand is built through repetition. A brand is built through repetition of the same thing. Nikki, you asked us about content over and over and over again. So you can share some teaching. You can back it up with a story that teaches the same thing presented in a different way, a distinction. You can back it up from something that occurred in your life or your day, or something that your clients learned from that story. And people will start to be like, oh my God, yep, Jess has got that Lindt chocolate distinction, have her tell you about it. Or, oh my God, let me have Jess send you the video of that distinction. It's going to be really powerful for you in your life. So you want to start collecting stories and creating distinctions, because this is going to support you to build a really powerful brand. Now, think about this. When you then get invited into conversations or podcasts or write a chapter for my book or something like that, and someone asks you a question, you're going to have stories from your brand to pull out that really show people, allow people to experience the power of your work rather than telling them something. Really different. Cheryl, come on up.
So I have a story and something I haven't actually shared with anyone that I'm in creation. I haven't even told Jess this actually. I was going to tell her on Saturday, but it feels kind of poignant to share it here. So for the longest time, obviously, I have been sharing my mental health story, and Jess has always been saying to me, like, how can you share this from a place of empowerment? And I always knew that there would be a moment. So I want to tell you what I'm creating in a story. So just to recap the story ever so slightly, so I have gone up and down with my mental health since 2005 when I was assaulted. Led myself through it again, just like I said in the beginning, sometimes messily, sometimes very powerfully. And at my lowest moment, like lowest of lowest moments, I tried to take my own life in the River Tay. And then through a series of events, ended up actually living in a house overlooking that river. So it's why I always share so much of that river. But what's really powerful in that story is I fully went under. I should not be here anymore. And as I came to the surface, these words were boomed to me from God in a way of, not yet, Cheryl. It's time to write a new story, hence the name of my brand and everything. Now, I talk a lot about it, but I don't share it, I think, in the most powerful way. And I also don't actually share out with the one-to-one space my faith. And of late, I've been so called to have this be front and center of it is who I am. It's like it's a daily commitment. It is who I am. And if I ask myself, one of the things that's the next level for me is to unapologetically own that, like absolutely own that I am a complete and utter circumstances of leaning into faith, following that voice for as long as I can remember. So on my birthday this year, which will also be around about 2 years since I entered Jess's space and decided to go all in on my business, I am going to get baptized, which I have never done before. So it's this huge thing. But beyond that, I wanted to, and I was so called to share this story in the most powerful way I've ever shared it. Like, not just repeat the story, but create something. So I have hired someone who's going to create a 60-second film, literally telling that story. So you will see an image of me going out into that water. You will hear what was shared to me, and then it will pan in on a zoom shot of me coming out of the water in my baptism with the very powerful message that I could try just like it, that 100% everything is possible. Like, you can rewrite that narrative in anything, that you can change your entire life if you lean into your own personal beliefs. Like, you don't need to believe what I believe. And then this incredible panoramic zoom shot of the bridge, of the river, of this coming full circle. And I can kind of hear in what Jess is sharing, like, it's so powerful because this is one of my huge distinctions. And as I've shared this story for years, like since October of 2000, I think it was, or 2020, October 2020, I have shared this story. And the more I share it, the more powerful it gets, the more intentional I get with it. And not only that, but it grows arms and legs, because the woman I will be on my birthday in 2025 is a completely different person to the woman who shared the story in 2020, to the person who would share it even last year. This evolution I'm on, it's the same story. I just get more powerful in my delivery of it. And what I can also see is what that opens up for other people, from people who are right now going, geez, I can't get my backside out of bed or leave my house and be where I was, to people who are up to huge things in the world that are like, man, I could go create miracles in my life. So thank you, Jess, for that reminder of how powerful the story is.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it is. It's really beautiful. It's, something that I used to tell from one standpoint. I'm now actually telling the story like on my terms, curated powerfully, for other people to see that there is an opportunity to lead yourself in a different way. And that's what the Self Leader is all about. I'm going to put in the chat box an Instagram account. It's nothing to do with, what you teach in business, Cheryl. But Kalia Cooper, she's in a mastermind with me, with my coach Stephanie, and she is a relationship coach, but she's a Christian-based relationship coach, and she uses languaging around faith so powerfully, so modernly, so well to attract her dream clients. It could just be interesting for you to have a little look at. So I'll pop that in the chat box for you as well. So
Amazing.
beautiful.
Amazing. And for those of you that you don't know, the Bible is like a business book. Like, what's in there is flipping gold for making money and creating impact.
There's a book that I have, and it's called, it's actually written by a Jewish couple, I think, and it's like business secret, or business secrets, or business rules from the Bible, or something like that, which is good. I'm not heavily religious. I do believe that there's God, the universe, spirit, all of those things. And you're right, there's so many incredible teachings. We can really look back at history. So love that. Anyone else? Thank you, Cheryl, for sharing. Preview in this space. Love it. Asti, come on up.
Yeah, I'm actually super loving this conversation on stories, because I feel like storytelling is probably one of my very lowest developed skills. And so you did give some really good pointers on stories. Is there anything else you can tell us who are just starting to kind of put together stories, and like what's really the difference between stories and distinctions that I can take away? Like, I've loved this.
Yeah, I love that question. So, a distinction is really the way that I think of it. It's like, what's the part of the story that really stands out that people are going to remember this story by? So the Lindt chocolate distinction is all about giving to the people that you love before anybody else. right? It's nothing to do with Lindt chocolate, but people remember it because it's the Lindt chocolate distinction. And obviously there's a handing out chocolates within the story, right? So the distinction is comes from the story. It's kind of like, what's the title that people are going to remember that really brings this home? So that's the differentiation. In terms of, this is similar to our conversation yesterday. So I suggested, based on Asti's realizations, that she start really telling stories about her journey, her life, her early days in entrepreneurship, all which link to the program that she's in creation of. And what you really want to remember, and I think I modeled it today, you guys can tell me if it was powerful for you, speak from your heart. There's no getting it right. If you try and curate your story, it's not going to hit people the same. People love a story, they love a distinction because they feel you within it. It's unique to you. Nobody else could tell it the way that you do. Nobody else could speak to the feelings that you felt. So you want to really, just practice as you go through your timeline of, all the things that you've experienced in your life up until now, Asti. You could even, call a friend or ask one of the community members, hey, could you jump on a call with me for 7 minutes? I'd love to share a short story with you. And then the more you practice telling the story, the same as delivering your program, the more you practice telling it, the better it's going to be, because you're going to be like, oh, that bit hits for people, or that bit was just like dead space, or, things like that. Think about the I Luego story. Devin and I tell the I Luego story all the time. But the more we tell it, or depending on the audience, is it mostly men in the room? Is it mostly women in the room? Is it mostly couples in the room? We know which bits are going to be really powerful to, hone in on over others. So you want to just pull your stories, first of all, or on a day-to-day basis, catch them, note them down, and then, look at them. Okay, let me practice telling it. Does this one hit? Does it not? Well, that's it. But from your heart. Don't curate them, don't script them, tell the story over and over and over again, and it will become so clear. This is it. Debbie, come on up. Does that answer your question, Asti? Perfect. Debbie, come on up.
So this might be a good time to share the personal shopping experience.
Yes,
is that okay? So
I
had on Saturday I go to yoga by the sea, and I've started taking my bikinis so that I can just stay there all day if I want. I've got nothing in my diary, and just seen Cheryl's message going to the bathroom. So nothing in my diary, so my time is my own. And normally I might meet up with people, so I'm open to meet anyone after yoga. So that day I met two ladies. We went for coffee, we chatted for 2 hours, and it was lovely. I made new connections. Then I didn't want to go home, so I was in my bikini, and I'd been past a clothes shop, and I'd been thinking about up leveling my wardrobe because it's very hot over here, and my UK wardrobe just doesn't fit. Well, it does fit, but it doesn't fit the new me. So I went in and I took something to try on, and the assistant in there, she was so engaging. And when I shared this with Jess, it was quite something to take back to my own business. But she didn't just stand behind the counter and let me do my own thing. She started bringing me things to try on, dresses that matched with the color of my eyes. I'd come out and have a look in a mirror, and she'd bring me a belt to make the outfit, or a bag or a necklace to complete the whole look. And I spent 2 hours in that shop trying clothes on, and we were on first name terms. We built up a wonderful sort of friendship, and she just knew my style almost better than I did. And I actually messaged Andrew because we've got a joint account, and I knew that I tried something on and I thought this looked lovely. It made me feel good. I think that's the real takeaway. When I tried something, it doesn't matter how you're feeling inside, but when you look good, you feel good. And I could see myself in a mirror, and my face was lit up. It just lit me up completely. And outfit after outfit was coming, and I thought, right, I like this one. Oh yeah, I like this one. And they were starting to build up. So I sent Andrew a message, said, how much can I spend on some new clothes? And I caught him at a perfect time because he'd come back from a bike ride, hot, sweaty, tired. And he said, spend as much as you like. So I ended up buying 3 or 4 outfits, and they all sort of interchange. So I had quite a few outfits. And when I came home, I tried them on, and he said, I love the way you are like this, because I was so lit up. I'd spent money, I felt amazing, I looked amazing, and it rippled out to the people that I came into contact with. So then I was going to Palma. I love going to Palma. I had a meeting, but I made time to go to Louis Vuitton because that's on my vision board. I want to take my son there one day and treat him to anything he wants in the store. So every time I go to Palma, I always go in and I'm starting to sort of connect with the staff. And that's when one of the assistants came up and said that she loved my style, she loved my outfit. And again, it just made me feel on top of the world. So I think the lessons from that are to just do what you feel like doing, because you never know where it will lead you. You don't know the feelings that it will bring. And also from the sales assistant point of view, don't stand behind that desk. Reach out to those people and let them know, what you've got available for them, because it could change their life. So yeah, quite a powerful story.
It's such a powerful story. And, in answer to Asti's question, it's great that you just shared your story and Cheryl shared hers as well, because then we get to piece together this next part. It's like, okay, I have a story, but now I want to make it relevant to what it is that I teach my clients. Well, your story is like full embodiment of everything that you teach. It's like I created time and space in my diary where I was free to choose to do whatever I wanted to do. I had the bikini packed. You also met people that day for drinks that you'd never connected with before. Like that was just, part of you placing yourself in the environment, right? It's like, when I step into new environments, I build new friendships. My relationship with my husband expands. My level of investment, directly correlates to the outcomes in my business. Like there's so much. So you want to take your story and then you want to bear in mind, what is it I teach my clients, and how is this, what's the message for them? How is this relevant for them? What does it teach them about, if they step into courage, if they go into an environment they've never been to before, what's the ripple effect? Better relationship, probably going to earn more money, like all of those things. Just because you were willing to spend 2 hours doing something that you hadn't intended to, but of course you did, because living a long and healthy life and feeling fabulous in your 50s means that you don't cram in, 100 things on your calendar. You have the space to experience new possibility. So there's something in there. Now, if I were to relate, and this is where I want you to see, like your story can easily be related to what it is that you teach. Because if I told Debbie's story, I'd be like, the store experience speaks to the simplicity of your offer suite. They had tones in the clothing that all were interchangeable. So this shop assistant was easily able to say, well, these trousers go with that shirt, but this belt matches and this bag matches and these shoes match, or whatever. Like there's a cohesiveness to the client journey. So the client can continually ascend and spend more money, because not only do I have the top, I have the bag to match. No, so you can take your story and make it relevant for your dream clients. Everyone see that?
And also, it wasn't a designer shop. It wasn't a high street shop. It was just an individual independent store. But the clothes and the outfit that I put together, or she put together for me, I didn't feel out of place in Louis Vuitton, which was amazing.
That's it. So much to learn, so much to play with. And when I say your content is right in front of you, it really is. Like, how fun has this call been? Because you're experiencing something. Nobody even had a hot seat question, really. We started off with, this is what I'm up to, this is what I'm in creation of. Okay, there's learning from here. Then it was like, Jess, share a story. Oh my God, there's so much to get from this story. Like, she's real, and look at the expansion that occurred because of all of these things. So we all feel closer because you got an insight into my world and what it looks like behind the scenes. Then there was this learning. You saw how this story really could fit into your life and what you could take from it. And then you guys started practicing sharing your own stories and really thinking about, okay, what does this look like and why would I do this? It's magical. So another incredible call. We go wherever we have to go. I'm excited to see many of you tomorrow in the $1 Million Offer live. There will be a drop today, not until later. Make sure you listen to the drop before the live, and then bring your questions to tomorrow's live, and we'll keep it all moving forwards. Sound good? The call tomorrow is at 9 o'clock Eastern, which is 2 o'clock UK tomorrow. Yeah. All right. I love you all. I'll see you whenever I see you next. Have the best day. Bye, ladies.